Whenever you are making that object's portability as public read only, then it means the record is a public record. Okay, the record is a public record. Nothing but everybody in the organization, along with the owner of the record, along with the manager of the owner, the remaining people also inside that organization, they can able to access those records. Then what will be the level of access on that record here? The owner and his manager will be having the full control on the record always. Nothing but they can able to view the record, they can able to modify the record, they can able to delete the record, they can able to share the record as well. But the other users in the organization, like as the siblings and the subordinates, those people will be having only that read-only access. Okay, only that read-only access. They cannot able to perform any edit operation. They cannot able to remove the record from that instance. Whenever you are making that object sortability as public read-only, now the record will be getting visible to all the people inside that organization, irrespective of the user, irrespective of the profile. Everybody will be able to access that record, but the owner of the record and his manager will be having the full control, and the remaining people inside that organization will be having read-only access on the record. Now, and then the next one, the public read write. So now, what exactly the public read write over here? Now, this is also similarly, okay, this is also similarly where whenever you are making the object's portability as public read write, okay, whenever you are making that object's portability as public read write, at that time, whenever a user has created a record, then the owner of the record and his manager will be having the full control, like as they can able to view the record, they can able to modify the record, they can able to delete the record, and they can able to share the record as well. And along with that owner and his manager, the remaining people inside the organization also they can able to see the record as well. But at that time, the other users inside the organization will be having read access and write access. Nothing but they can able to see the record and they can able to modify the record values as well. But they cannot remove the record from that instance. But they cannot remove the records from that instance here. So now read only and the public read write is going to be making the record as public. Everybody can able to see, but public read only will be granting read only access to the other people inside the organization. And public read write is going to be granting read write action option on that record to the other users inside the organization. But they cannot able to remove the record here. Now let's see the practically here. How can we implement that? Let's go to your Salesforce instance. Okay, let's go to your Salesforce instance. Go to that OWD options. For that, go to the security controls. Go to the sharing settings. Go to the sharing settings. Make that account objects OWD as public read only. I'm making it. Click on edit button to change that settings. Select the account objects OWD as public read only. Nothing but I'm making it as public read only. Let's save this. So now the OWD request is in process right now still. Now just to refresh that. Now it has been done, our request. The request has been processed. Now Salesforce has made our account objects OWD as public read only right now over here. Now let's log in into the user, create a record, observe what will happen in this case. So now we are having our own users are available who are in the hierarchy. Let's get that users role hierarchy now. Now I'm placing in a separate tab so that we can refer whenever we need. Now, so now this is a hierarchy that we have right now. So now what I want to do is I want to log in as the customer user and I want to create a record. Or else you can able to log in as a development user also, whatever. Now log in as a development user, create an account record. So now I want to cross check that. Once I create the record, then this record should be get visible to the administrator man automatically by default because he is my reporting manager. So now along with that, my manager and myself, the other people inside the organization, like as the customer user, manager user, testing user also should be able to access my record. But for these three people, it should grant only the read-only access here. I want to cross-check that functionality over here. Now let's see. How can we verify that? Let's log in as a development user. Go to the manage users. Click on users link. Log in as a development user. Go to the my customers. Now create a new account record. I'm creating a new customer type record. Enter the details here. I'm giving the tag record name as public read only test account. I'm entering the remaining values in order to create a account record. So now I'm entering the values in order to create the record right now. So now I have entered the record name as public read only test account and I have entered the values. Let's click on save. Whenever I'm going to be saving that record, the record is available. The record has been created successfully. My record name is public read only test account. Now I want to verify whether this record is visible to my subordinates and the siblings or not. Now let's come out from this user. Now go to that subordinate user. Now you will be having a subordinate. As per the functionality of public read only, the record should be get visible to the other people also inside that organization, but the remaining people should have only that read only access here. Now let's verify that. I want to log in as a customer user now. Log in as customer user. Go to that account object. Get all the account records. We have created a record with the name public read only test. Now public read only test account record is visible to him. Public read only test account record is visible to him, nothing but even though he may be my subordinate, my subordinate is also able to access my record right now. Now this person can able to see my record right now here. So now it is granting the buttons called as edit button and the delete button. Now what will be the actions or what will be the operations they can perform on my record right now. So now these users just can able to see my record, but they cannot able to modify my record. So now let's see what will happen. When they click on edit button to modify the record, it is giving the message to that insufficient privileges. Nothing but you are not having the rights to modify the record, just we can able to see the record itself. Now he is trying to be deleting the record here. When he tries to delete the record, it is giving the message insufficient privileges. Nothing but these people cannot able to modify my record, these people cannot able to delete my record as well. So this is the functionality of the public read only. Not only this, my subordinate, nothing but the customer user and another user also we can verify manager user. He is also one of my sibling. Log in as a manager user. Go to my customers. Nothing but the account object. get all the account records. There you can able to get the access on the record called as public read-only test account. Nothing but my sibling is also able to access my record here. But when he tries to perform that edit operation, he cannot able to perform nothing but he is not having the permissions on that record, so that it is giving that insufficient privileges. Because here we have specified that the records OWD as public read only, so that not only the owner and his manager and the remaining people inside the organization also will can able to access my record, but they will be having only read only access on that. Now, for example, if it is a public read write, then what will be the functionality? Let's cross check that. Go to the security controls, go to the sharing settings, click on edit button and make that account object OWD as public read write. Let's make it save. Now refresh that. Now Salesforce has processed your organization by the default. Now we have made it as account objects OWD as public read write. So now let's verify that. Login as a user. I am going to be login as a manager user right now. I want to log in as a manager user right now. Once I logged in as manager user, then I would like to create a record. Once I have created the record, then it has to be get visible to the other people as well here. Now I'm making it as objects OWD as public read write. So what do you mean by public read write? Public read write is going to be granting the access here. Whenever you are making the objects OWD as public read write, then at that time the owner and his manager will be having the full control on the record, like they can able to see, they can able to modify, they can able to remove, they can able to share the record. So but the other users inside the organization will be having the read and the edit access on the record, but they cannot able to remove the record from that instance. Now let's verify this functionality here. We have made that account objects OWD as public read write. Now log in as a manager user. Now create an account record right now. I'm creating a new account record. Public read write test account. Account site. Type value. I'm entering the required values to be get created this account record. Industry some manufacturing. Contact number. PAN number value. Ownership some private. I'm entering the active status as yes. I'm creating a new record right now with the name public read write test account. Let's click on save. Your record has been created. Now the owner of the record is user manager. Okay, owner of the record is user manager. Now let's log out from this user and let's log in with the other users inside the organization. Now log in as a testing user because he is one of my sibling. Now I have logged in as the manager user and I have created a new account record right now. Now this record should be get visible to all the people inside that organization right now. Now I'm going to testing with the testing user right now. He is one of my sibling. Log in as a testing user. Go to the my customers. Get all the account records. And then click on P, which is going to be providing public read write test account. Now, not only my sibling, not only myself, my sibling is also able to see my record right now here. Then what is the level of access that he is having right now here? So now when coming to this person, when they click on edit button, they can able to edit the record also. Nothing but the other persons inside the organization will be having the read and write access both. But they cannot remove the record here. When they click on edit button, the record is in the editable format. They're changing that value. SIC code value I'm changing from 323 to 2345. Annual revenue we are modifying as some 70 lakhs. Now I'm saving this record. Nothing but these people can able to modify your record also here. When they click on delete a button, Salesforce does not allow to delete that because you are not having the rights, you are not the owner. If you are a owner, then only you will be having the rights to remove the record from that instance. They can able to read the record, they can able to modify the record, but they cannot able to remove the record from the Salesforce instance. So now these are the two options that we have on every object's portability in Salesforce. So now we are having that public read only and the public read write. The next one, public read write transfer. So what exactly the public read write transfer and what is the use of this and what we can do now we'll see practically over here. So now when coming to the public read write transfer, now you are aware of public read write as well. Transfer means what? Transfer option is going to be giving the permission to change the ownership of the record as well. Okay, it is granting the access on the changing the ownership of the record also here. Now this public read write option, sorry, public read write transfer option will be available for only two objects to you. That is called as the lead and the case object by default in Salesforce. So now by using this transfer option, you can able to transfer the ownership of the record here. Now to whom we can able to transfer the ownership? The ownership we can able to transfer to either a user or either a queue. Okay, either a user or either a queue. So now what do you mean by a queue here? What do you mean by a queue? What exactly is a queue here? Now let's see. For example, assume that I'm using a mobile. In that mobile, I'm using some Vodafone network. I'm using some Vodafone network. So now Vodafone network is belongs to an organization that is nothing but the Vodafone organization, who are the one of the vendor of the mobile networks providers, where they are providing this mobile network services to the various people in the different countries. So now whenever any of the customer is facing some problem with that network, then those people can able to raise a complaint by making a call to the customer care. So now Vodafone network people are going to be having some customer care centers where these are operating on 24/7, where we are having some customer care executives or the service advocates who are going to be receiving the complaints from the different customers, and they're trying to be resolving the customer problems over here. Okay, they're trying to be resolving that customer problems. So now in this kind of scenario here, how can we contact those customer care people? In order to contact those customer care people, we have to make a call to the customer care number, which is a toll-free number, and then this call will be getting connected to that particular the toll-free number. Now in that customer care center, so many service advocates or the so many people are available. So in this case, the call may be busy because those customer care executives are busy with some other calls. They are giving the service solution to the different customers, so that they're busy with the call, so that my call is in the waiting state. Okay, my call is in the waiting state. Nothing but what happened, your call will not be disconnected directly, your call will be in the waiting state. Okay, your call will be in the waiting state that these people are busy, so please wait in the call for some time, so that when any one of the service advocate will be get free, then automatically your call will be getting routed to that person. So now for that we are going to be making our call will be in the pending. Okay, we are making our call will be in the pending. Nothing but my call is in waiting. For what? For any of the customer care people has pick up my call. Nothing but to accept my call. Now till any of the member has accepted my call is in the waiting state here. Nothing but what happened when coming to the customer request cannot be get discarded. Customer should be in the waiting status for some time. Now, so now in this kind of scenario here, okay, in this kind of scenario, so now whenever you are going for that lead object or the case object, okay, whenever you are going to the lead object and the case object in Salesforce, let's go to that lead object here. Now open any of the lead record. Whenever you are trying to be changing the ownership, how can we change the ownership? Ownership field is available with the name owner ID. Owner means what? A user. Okay, owner means what? A user. Now, when you go to that lead object, whenever you are trying to be changing the ownership value of the lead object here, go to that lead owner field. Beside that, it is indicating the training Salesforce is the owner. Now, beside that, you will be having an option called as change option. You will be having an option called as change option. When you click on change, it is going to be providing the option to change the ownership of the record. Now, to whom you want to assign this record here. Now, here we are having two options are there, user or the queue. Nothing but we can able to make the owner as a user, or we can able to make the owner for this record as a queue also. Nothing but I want to place this record inside the queue so that any of the queue member will accept that record to resolve his problem here. So now in this kind of scenario here, what exactly a queue over here? Okay, what exactly the queue? So now when coming to the queue is nothing but a location. Okay, queue is nothing but a location where all the pending records will be waiting. Okay, where all the pending lead records or the case records will be in the waiting for that confirmation from the queue members. Now, so now when coming to the queue is nothing but what? A location. Queue is nothing but a location where all the pending records, pending lead records and the case records will be in the waiting status for some time. Till what time? Till any of the queue member has accepted that record here. Okay, till any of the member has accepted that record here. Now let's see here. Now for example, so assume that I'm having an organization. Assume that I'm having an organization. So now this organization is nothing but a Dell. I'm having an organization. This is nothing but the Dell. So now when coming to the Dell organization, they're offering different kinds of products. Okay, they're offering some different set of products. Like as they're offering the laptops, desktops, mobiles, printers, scanners, projectors, tabs, etc. The various accessories they are going to be offering to their customers. So now the Dell people are going to be providing the various kinds of products to their customers right now. They're offering the various kinds of products to their customers. So now we are having so many customers are there who are going to be purchasing those products here. Okay, we are having so many customers are there. Now, let's take a customer. Now we are having some customers are there. So now we are having so many customers are there. Who are going to be utilizing our products here. So now these are few customers are available right now over here. These customers are going to be utilizing our products right now. So now we are having some set of customers are there. So now we are having some set of customers who are utilizing our product. So now whenever the customer is facing some problem, okay, whenever the customer is facing some problem, then they are going to be raising a complaint. Okay, they are going to be raising a complaint. In order to accept the customer problems, they are going to be, when coming to the Dell people, they have some service centers are available. Nothing but the customer care executives are available here. So now when coming to the Dell organization, they're having the Dell service centers. One is in some Hyderabad location. Second one is in Bangalore location. Assume that these are the two customer care locations are available here. So now when coming to the customer care, the Dell people are going to be providing the various the customer care executives. Now these are nothing but the service centers or the customer care center, which is in some Hyderabad location. Now, along with that, we are having a customer care center, which is in some Delhi. Now here we are having the two customer care centers are available. One is in Hyderabad, second one is in Delhi here. In my customer care center, what we have, in my customer care center, we are having some customer care executives are available. We are having some customer care executives are available here. Now these customer care executives are nothing but what? These are also the persons. Okay, these are also the persons who are always waiting to get some problems from the customer side, and they're trying to be resolving the customer problems over there. So now for that here, okay, for that, we are having so many customer care executives are available in that particular customer care center. So now we are having some set of customer care executives are available here. We are having some customer care executives. These are the various customer care executives are available inside my organization here. In both the service centers or the customer care centers, I'm having some customer care executives are available. So now what they will do here? When coming to the customer care executives, these people are going to be receiving the problems from the customer side, and they are going to be resolving those customer problems over here. Okay, they are going to be resolving those customer problems. Now, whenever the customer is going to be making a call, okay, whenever the customer is making a call, to whom this call will be getting routed over here. So now, as soon as whenever the customer is going to be making a call, okay, whenever the customer is making a call, then automatically the call will be connecting to that particular customer care center here. Now, in that customer care center, whenever if the existing customer care executive people, or these people may be called as the service advocates, these are also called as service advocates, or these are also called as the service engineers. Whenever if these people are busy with some other calls, nothing but they're resolving some other customer problems here, then what about my call? Okay, what about my call here? So now here I'm going to be making a call by using that toll-free number here. Toll-free number, like as some *121#. So now by using some toll-free number, we are going to be making a call to that customer care. So at that time, if the existing service people, nothing but the customer care executive people are busy with some other calls, then at that time your call has to be in the waiting state. Your call should not be get disconnected. So for that here, what we can do is, when coming to the customer care center, we are going to be maintaining a queue. Okay, we are maintaining a queue over here. So now inside that, we are going to be maintaining a queue. So now what exactly this queue over here? Now we are maintaining a queue inside this organization. So what exactly this queue? When coming to the queue is nothing but a location where we can able to place some records in the waiting status, which can be accessible by all the members inside that queue. Okay, which can be accessible by all the members inside that queue. So now, as soon as whenever your call is getting connected, nothing but whenever you are making the call, if the customer care people are busy with some other call, then your call will be in the waiting state, nothing but in the queue. So this is nothing but the queue over here. So now this is my queue. So now this is the Hyderabad queue. So now we are having that Hyderabad queue, or it may be Hyderabad service queue or whatever. Inside that Hyderabad service queue, your request will be in the waiting status. Now then how long time this will be available inside the queue? Till any of the queue member has accepted that. Nothing but when coming to the queue, what it contains, queue will be holding some records and queue will be holding some members also inside that. So now when coming to the interview point of view, they will raise a question, what exactly the difference between a public group and a queue? So now when coming to the public group contains simply the users. That's it, nothing but a set of users. We can make it together as a public group. That's it. In order to make the record to be get visible. But when coming to the queue is nothing but a location where all the pending records to be get weighted, all the pending records to be get weighted. So now till what time? Till any of the queue member has accepted that. Okay, till any of the member has accepted that record here. Nothing but what happened when coming to the queue contains two things. One is the supporting objects, nothing but what object records can be placed inside the queue, and the second one is the queue members. Whenever the customer is going to be raising a complaint, or whenever the customer is going to be assigning this record will be going to the queue automatically here. So now when coming to the Hyderabad service center, we are having the Hyderabad queue, where inside that service center we are having some set of service engineers are available. So now these service engineers are going to be resolving the customer problems over here. These are the service engineers. Now these service engineers are going to be resolving that customer problems over here. So now in this kind of scenario here, because these people may be busy with some other calls, so at that time my customer call cannot be get disconnected. For that, it will be making your call will be in the waiting status for some time. That is nothing but the queue. Your call is in the queue, nothing but you are also one of the member who wants to connect to that service center people, so that here you have to stay in the queue for some time because they are busy with some other work as well. So now in this kind of scenario here, when coming to the queue will be having two things here. When coming to the queue contains two features. One is the queue members, nothing but these are the users who can able to accept the records from the queue, and they can able to work on that, and they can work on the records. And for a single queue, okay, for a queue we can able to add one or more queue members here. We can able to add one or more members to the queue. Like as how you are adding that members to the public group, the same way we can able to add the members to the queue as well. Along with that, we can able to specify the supporting objects also. Supporting objects. So now what exactly is supporting objects here? Now it describes what object records can be held inside the queue. It describes what object records can be placed inside the queue. What object records we can place inside the queue. Now queue will not support all the objects of Salesforce. Queue will support the below objects. What objects supported by the queue right now here? What object records we can able to place inside the queue? Queue will be supporting only a few objects like as lead object, case object, performance cycle, goal, metric, matrix, feedback, feedback question, feedback request, feedback question set, and all your custom objects. Nothing but when coming to the queue will be supporting only few objects like as lead object, case object, performance cycle, goal, metric, matrix, and the feedback question, feedback request, feedback question set, and all your custom objects. These are the object records which we can able to store inside that queue. Now, it doesn't mean every queue will be holding all these records. You can restrict the queue that it can able to store only these object records. Nothing but while creating the queue, we have to specify the members who can able to accept that records, and we can specify the objects which object records can store inside the queue. It doesn't mean the queue will support all these object records. You can restrict the queue. We can specify what object records can be held inside that queue. Because what I want to do is I want to create the multiple queues. Because for my sales related, I want to create some separate queues. For my service related, I want to create some separate queues. Sales related object records, I want to place nothing but lead object records I want to place inside the separate queue, and the case object records I want to place inside the separate queue. So at that time here, whenever the user is trying to be assigning the lead record to a queue, at that time that queue has to be get support these object records can be acceptable inside that. So now for that, upon creating the queue, we have to specify what object records to be get acceptable by this queue here. So now when coming to this particular service center, whenever the customer is going to be raising a case, then automatically now initially the record owner will be whom the currently logged in user will be the owner here. As soon as whenever you are going to be assigning the record to the queue, then the record will be getting transferred. Nothing but the record ownership will be getting transferred from the user to nothing but the owner to that particular queue automatically. The record will be there in the queue for some time. So now whenever you are working in that organization, if there is any production support activities are available, production support incidents or the tickets are available, then for that they are going to be having some escalations. Nothing but some case escalations will be available to you over there. If the case is not able to resolve within the specified time frame, because every organization will be having some SLAs. Already we have discussed in our initial concepts itself. Nothing but every organization will be having some SLAs, nothing but the service level agreements, where the company is going to be assuring to the customer that if you're facing a high priority issue, then we are able to resolve within 2 hours. If it is a medium priority issue that we have raised, then we are able to resolve within 4 hours. If it is a low priority, we are able to resolve within 8 hours here. Within the time frame, if you are unable to resolve my problem, automatically my case has to be get escalated to the higher official people. So now here in this kind of scenario, how can we escalate that from one queue to another queue? We can able to escalate. So now we have to calculate how long time the record is available inside the queue. So now based on that time period, we can able to make it escalated here. During that service cloud concept, in that case, escalation rules will be configuring all these processes. Now whenever you are going to be assigning the record to the queue, then automatically the queue will be the owner for that record here. Till what time? Till any of the queue member, nothing but the service engineers these are called as the queue members. If until any of the queue members has accepted that record here. So now whenever you are going to be placing the record inside the queue, then who are all the members are available inside the queue? Only those members can able to access that record here. Now once that particular queue member, suppose for example, now a customer has raised the case from Hyderabad, so that this case has been routed to that Hyderabad location here, nothing but Hyderabad queue. The case has been routed to that Hyderabad queue. So now in this kind of scenario here, okay, in this kind of scenario, so now whenever the record is available in the queue, then all the queue members will be getting notified that a new case is also there on the queue, so that one of the customer has raised a problem here. Now most of all the people are busy here. Now, if any of the person is idle, then they can able to look into the queue and they can cross check how many cases has been raised by the customers today, and this person can able to start working on that case. Nothing but assume that I'm the person, I'm done with my task, and then I'm free right now, so that I can able to start working on that. So that you can go to that case record, go to the queue, get whatever the cases are available, accept that case record, and then as soon as whenever you are accepting that as a queue member, then from now onwards I am the responsible person for that case record. I am the owner of the case. Nothing but the case ownership will be getting transferred from queue to that associated queue member automatically. So now for that here, in order to share a workload, okay, in order to share a common workload, we are going to be maintaining the queue. Okay, we are maintaining a queue over here. Now, so now let's see here. When coming to the queues, how can we configure the queue, and how can we add the members, and how can we assign the records to the queue? Let's see practically over here. So now the customer can able to raise this queue. Customer can able to assign that case record to that particular queue here. So now we are going to be assigning that. We can able to assign that record. Assign the record to either a user or a queue. So now we are going to be assigning that records to that either a user or a queue here. Now let's see what exactly the queue. How can we create this queue right now here? In order to create that queue, we have to go to a navigation, like as go to the setup menu and go to the administer menu in the left panel. Go to that manage users. Inside that manage users, you will be having an option called as queues. You will be having an option called as queues. So now let's go to that queues and create a new queue over here. So now inside my organization, I want to create the 3 queues over here. One is Hyderabad sales queue or service queue, whatever. I'm creating some sales queue. Second one, Bangalore sales queue. And the third one is Chennai sales queue. And the fourth one is some Mumbai sales queue. So now these are the 4 queues that I would like to configure right now. And then I would like to assign these records to that queue here. Now these are related to the sales queue here. Service queue we can able to create your own, depends upon your need here. So now here I'm going to be configuring the queue right now. Go to the setup menu. Go to the administer menu in the left panel. Go to the manage users. Click on queues. Now it is giving that information. Queues allows a group of users to manage a shared workload more effectively. Okay. Nothing but in order to share the workload between the various people, we can able to maintain the queue. Now a queue is a location where records can be routed to avoid processing by a group member. Nothing but what happened when coming to the queues, queue is nothing but a location where we can able to place the record in the waiting status for some time, so any of the queue member will accept that. So now the records will remain in the queue until any of the queue member has accepted. Now observe this one here. Now the record will remains in the queue until a user accepts them for the processing, or they may be transferring to some other queue as well here. Now you can specify a set of objects that are supported by each queue. Okay, for every queue we can specify what objects to be get supported over here, as well as a set of users that are allowed to retrieve the records from the queue. Nothing but queue will be having two things. One is a supporting object, second one is the members inside that. If it is a public group will be having only the members. There is no supporting objects here. This is the main difference between public group and the queue. Then where all these public groups and the queues will get stored inside that. Now, when coming to the entry point of view, this is very, very important here. Now, all the public groups and queues information will get resides in an object called as group object. We are having an object called as group object here. If you want to get all the public groups here, okay, if you want to get all the public groups, we can able to fetch all this information as well. Now, to get all the public groups, for that we can able to use this query here. Select ID of the public group and then name of the public group, and then we can specify from the group where type equals to regular. So now what type of group it is, whether it is a public group, whether it is a queue. So for that here, for the public group, it will be having the type as regular to get all the queues. For that, we have to use that same query, but where you will be getting that type equals to queue. So nothing but by using that SQL query, we can able to fetch all the public groups which you have created and all the queues which you have configured. We can able to cross check that. So now previously we have created a public group that is nothing but the Hyderabad sales group we have configured. Then how can we fetch that information? Here, let's see practically. So now let me show you practically. Go to your developer console. You are aware of this developer console editor. Sometime before we have discussed that. Go to that query editor. Inside that query editor, I would like to fetch all the information. Select ID comma name from group, comma type also. So now when you click on that information, it is going to be giving this information to you. So now these are the various roles are available, and along with that, it is going to be giving that information called as regular. Nothing but the type is regular and the name is Hyderabad sales group. If you want to get only that public group, then you can specify where type equals to regular. Regular means it is going to be fetching only those public groups which you have created. Now the public groups IDs are starting with 00G. Okay, public group IDs are starting with 00G. So now this is the public group which you have created over here. This is the ID of that public group. Now in that public group, we are having some members are available. How can we fetch all the members over here? Now, these are very, very important, but these are some advanced features. To get all the members of the public group or queue, we have to use object group member. We are having an object called as group member object. From that group member object, we can able to fetch that information over here. So now for that, how can we fetch this information here? For the group member, we have to get that select ID comma user or group ID from group member where ID equals to, you can specify that QR group ID we have to pass. Okay, we have to fix that group ID here. Now let's see. So now this is the query that I'm going to be using in order to fetch all the public group. In this public group, we are having some members are there. Then how can we get that members here? In order to get the members, then get the ID of this particular public group and then make a query here. Now select ID comma user or group ID from group member, where ID equals to the group ID here. Let's execute that. So now inside that group member, we don't have any members available for this particular public group over here. Now we have two users are there, right? Now these users information will be available inside that group member object. Customer user is there, testing user is there. It has to show that user ID. Now, so now here. So now we have to get that group ID column. So now inside that you will be having that group ID. So now which group ID is available here? So now this is the public group which we have created. This is the Hyderabad sales group. So now in this Hyderabad sales group, we are having the two members are available right now over here. These are the IDs of those members. Okay, these are the IDs of those members here. Now 005, this is the ID of one user. Let's go to your Salesforce instance. Go to your URL. Remove the URL which is available after that salesforce.com. Just place that ID of that user. Press enter. Now it is providing that information. This user is user customer. And then we have identified one more member here. Just copy this ID of this user. Go to your Salesforce. I'm placing this ID along with the customer user, who is the one more user, user testing. Nothing but these are the two people are available who are the members of my public group over here. So now in order to fetch all those members of that public group, we have to use that group member object. From that group member object, we can able to fetch all these members of this particular public group over here. This is the way we can able to make a query here. All the public groups and the queues information will be available inside that the group object, and all the members of that group will be available inside that group member object here. Why? Because is when moving forward, we are going to be sharing the record through programmatically. At that time, we have to get the records and the members of those information of the group, everything we have to get it through dynamically at runtime here. So for that, we are going to be using these queries over there. Now, so now here when coming to the public groups, all the public groups and the queues information will be getting resides inside that group object, and all the members of that group will be getting storing inside an object called as group member object over here. So now let's see here. Now I am going to be creating the 4 queues right now. Hyderabad sales queue, Bangalore sales queue, Chennai sales queue, and the Mumbai sales queue. These are the 4 queues that I'm going to be configuring right now. Then how can we create a queue? Now let's see practically here. Go to your Salesforce instance. Go to your Salesforce instance. Go to this navigation here. Go to the setup menu. Go to the administer menu in the left panel. Go to the manage users. Click on queues. Click on new button to create a new queue. Specify the queue label like Assam Hyderabad sales queue and the queue email ID. I'm giving my email ID here. Now it is giving an option called as send email to members. Now inside that send email to members, we can select the checkbox in order to notify all the members inside the queue upon a new record has been getting added to the queue. Like as when coming to our organizations, we are using some defect tracking tool. In the defect tracking tool, the development team and the testing teams are the members. If any of the QA member has created a new defect or added a new defect inside the defect tracking tool, then all the developer members will be getting an email notification that a new defect has been added to the tracking tool. Nothing but there is a new defect has been identified inside that application. So please look into that and fix the defect here. Like the same way here also, whenever you are going to be creating a new record or adding a new record to the queue, automatically all the queue members has to be get notified by sending an email notification. So now what object record that you would like to store inside this queue? Now it is going to be supporting few objects like here. Case object. Customer is my custom object here. Goal. Hiring manager is my custom object. Knowledge article version. Lead. Macro. Metric. Order. Position. User provisioning request. Coaching. Feedback. Feedback question. Feedback question set. Feedback request. Feedback template. Performance cycle. Nothing but these are the objects will be getting acceptable inside that queue. Nothing but queue will be supporting only few objects here. For that, it will be having the option supporting objects. It is having that queue members also. Two sections are available to you over here. We are having that. For that queue, you will be having the two options are available. One is the supporting objects and the second one is the queue members. Nothing but who are all the members can able to access that records available inside this queue. So now for that, we are going to be specifying this supporting objects, nothing but what objects records to be get supported by this queue here. Now this is a sales queue. So that sales related object like some lead object I'm going to be adding inside this queue here. Nothing but even though the queue may be supporting so many objects, but I have restricted this queue to support only that lead object record. Nothing but this queue can able to hold only the lead records only. The other object records it cannot able to hold inside that. Now I'm restricting this queue to that store only that lead object records. Now who will be the members of this queue? Nothing but who can able to access that records from the queue. Then for that I'm adding a member here. User development. Development user is one of the member who can able to accept that records here. Now I am going to be saving that queue. Now your queue has been getting created for you. Okay, queue has been created for you here. So now I have created one queue. Like the same way I am creating the remaining three queues. Bangalore sales queue. The queue email ID, I'm giving my email ID here. Excuse me. So now this is also supporting the same lead object. And the development user will be the member of this queue. I'm saving this queue. Now the Bangalore sales queue I have configured. I'm creating one more queue. Chennai sales queue. I'm adding the email ID. And I'm adding that supporting object as a lead. I'm adding the queue member as a development user. I'm creating one more queue over here. That is some Mumbai sales queue. I'm adding my queue email ID. And I'm adding that supporting object, lead. I'm assigning the user development as a member for that queue. So now here I have configured 4 queues right now. Now Bangalore sales queue, Chennai sales queue, Hyderabad sales queue, and the Mumbai sales queue. Now this queue is going to be supporting only that lead objects over here. All these queues will be accepting lead records right now. So now here I have configured that 4 queues right now. Now I would like to assign that lead records to this particular queue. Then how can we assign? Let's see practically over here. So now whenever if you want to assign that lead records or the case records to the queue, you will be having 2 ways again. One is a manual, second one is an automated process. Okay, one is an manual, second one is an automated process. Now, we can assign the lead or case records to the queues with the below 2 options. One is manually we can assign the queue, we can assign the owner as a queue. Second one is by using an automated process. By using an automated process called as assignment rules. Okay, like as validation rules, workflow rules, and we are using the assignment rules. So now manually, how can we assign that owner to that particular queue here? So now here, when coming to the owner, how can we change the ownership to this particular queue? Then what will happen? We'll see practically now, and then we will come back to that, the automated process here. So now these are the 4 queues are there which can able to accept only the lead records. Now let's go to that lead. So whatever the lead record that we have, open any of the lead record, whatever we have. Let's open that lead like as some Betty Bear. I'm assigning some values which are required. The PAN number and the passport number and the mobile number and the fax number, website value, rating value, and the products and everything I'm going to be storing inside this. So now I have saved this record here. Whenever you are going to be creating the record, the currently logged in user will be the owner of the record here. Nothing but he is a lead owner. Lead owner will be the training Salesforce, nothing but the currently logged in user. If you want to assign this record to a particular queue, then how can we assign? Let's see practically here. Now go to that lead record, open the lead record manually, go to that lead owner field, click on change link. It is providing the option to whom you want to assign this lead record here. To a user or to a queue. It is providing 2 options to you. Now either to a user or either to a queue also we can able to assign that lead record here. Now I'm going to be assigning to the queue. Select the queue. Now when you click on lookup, it is populating all the queues available inside your Salesforce instance. So now here observe this one. It is going to populating all the queues inside that. Now I will show you one more option over here. Let me create one more queue inside my Salesforce instance. I will show you practically what exactly the functionality over here. I am creating Hyderabad service queue. I am giving my queue email ID. Now this service queue, service means nothing but only the customer queries, nothing but the cases. I am going to be adding this case object as that supporting object for this queue. I'm adding the member as that development member, nothing but the user development. Totally, I'm having how many queues? 5 queues are available. Hyderabad sales queue, Hyderabad service queue. This is both are queues only here. Now Hyderabad sales queue will support lead object, Hyderabad service queue will support case object here. Now let's go to that, changing the ownership. So now let's select that queue, nothing but the owner I'm going to be assigning to a queue here. Click on lookup. It is populating how many queue names to you over here? Only 4. What about the 5th queue? Why it is not populating? Because when you click on that lookup icon to populate the queues, it is going to be populating only that particular queue which will be supporting that lead object. It won't populate all the queues available inside your Salesforce organization. It is populating only those queue names which will be supporting that lead object records to be get stored inside this. Other object records, it will not get populated. So now this functionality, what they have implemented that lookup filter configuration. Already we have discussed that lookup filter configurations over there in our relationships concept. The same concept they have implemented over here. Now I want to assign this record to whom? To the Hyderabad sales queue. Okay, Hyderabad sales queue. Now, once you have been assigned to this particular queue, then do you want to send the email notification to the queue members? Then we can specify to the queue. So now send email notification. Select the checkbox. When you click on save, that particular queue member will be getting notified automatically right now. Now let's see who is the owner for this queue right now. The owner of this lead record is Hyderabad sales queue. Okay, Hyderabad sales queue. Nothing but now this record is in the queue right now here. This is not assigned to a specific user. This is available on the queue. Then how can we access this record here? Now as a salesperson, I am one of the salesperson. I am also working in the Hyderabad sales team. So now I am also the part of that queue member here. So now I can able to start working on that lead record because here I am free right now here. I don't have any other task so that I can able to start working on this lead conversion process. Then how can we access that queue here? Queue records. So now login as that queue member. Go to that queue members login. Who is the queue member here? We are having the development user. Go to the users. Login as the development user. Click on login. Now I have been logging as the development user. When you go to the lead object, automatically inside this lookup, inside this particular pick list values, it will be populating that queue name also by default to you. Because whatever the queues for which you are the member, then all those queue names will be getting populated automatically inside this enhanced list view. No need to add that list view option manually. This will be getting added by default to you over here. So now let's observe this one. When you expand that, it is going to be populating some information to you, like as Bangalore sales queue, Chennai sales queue, Hyderabad sales queue, Mumbai sales queue. Nothing but what happened, these are the various queues for which I am the part of the member here. I am also the member of this queue, so that these queue names will be getting populated to you over here by default. So now, when you click on that Bangalore sales queue, it is populating whatever the records available inside this queue. There is no records available inside the queue. Now, when you go to that Hyderabad sales queue, there is a record is available here. Now, this is the record is available inside that Hyderabad sales queue over here. Now, I am a salesperson. Now, I am ready to work on this lead record because I am free today. So that I can able to follow with this lead. I can able to start contacting the lead and I can able to convert this lead as a customer. So now in this kind of scenario, what happened? As of now, this lead record owner is the queue. Now, as a queue member, I'm going to be taking care of the responsibility of converting this lead as a customer. So for that here, once we are ready to accept the lead record, then select that lead record along with the checkbox. Select the checkbox. When you click on accept button, automatically the lead record will be getting transferred from the queue to that associated member. So now whoever the members has accepted that, nothing but the development user, now this record will be getting transferring the ownership from queue to that development user automatically. So now when you click on accept button, automatically it is going to be accepting that record here. Now when you go to that lead, now the Betty Bear is available, open the record. Who is the owner right now? The owner is user development. Nothing but the ownership has been transferred from the queue to that particular user who has accepted that. So now when coming to the organization also, we are doing the same process here. Now, whenever if you are working as a Scrum process, nothing but on the Agile methodology, the client is going to be giving so many high priority requirements to you. Nothing but the various user stories. And then those user stories we are going to be accepting from that product backlog. And from the product backlog, we are going to be placing into our sprint backlog. From the sprint backlog, the sprint members, nothing but the Scrum team members are going to be getting each and every item, and then they are going to be doing the analysis and preparing the technical analysis, and they are going to be preparing the effort estimation also here. Like the same process is also available here. Here also we are maintaining the queue. We are going to be placing all the lead records which we need to contact. We are placing inside the queue. Then all the members inside the team, all the members inside that sales team, they can able to get that record. They can able to start working on that here. So now this is a way we can able to assign the lead record to that queue manually. So now in order to assign that lead record manually, we have to go to that lead record and then open that lead record, go to that owner field, click on change, select that owner type as queue, select the queue to whom you want to make it assign, and then when you click on save button, automatically the record will be getting transferred to the queue. Once it has been transferred to the queue, then queue member will accept that record and by logging into that associated user's account. So this is a process we are going to be assigning the record manually to that particular queue. So now if I'm having some thousands of lead records are there, then how can we assign these lead records manually one by one? So for that here, Salesforce is giving one automated process called as assignment rules. By using this assignment rules, what we can do here, by using assignment rules, we can assign a lead or a case record to either a user or queue automatically based on certain conditions. Based on some certain conditions. So now we can able to assign that lead records or the case records to that associated queue automatically here. No need to assign the lead record and the case record manually to the queue. We can able to make it as an automated process. For that, Salesforce is providing two types of assignment tools. We have two types of assignment tools. One is the lead assignment rules, which is used to assign a lead record to queue or a user. Second one is the case assignment rules. These are used to assign a case record to either a user or to a queue. When coming to the Salesforce, we are having two types of assignment rules are available. One is the lead assignment rule. Second one is the case assignment rule. By using this lead assignment rule or the case assignment rule, we can able to assign the lead record or the case records to either a user or a queue. So now in this kind of scenario here, how can we configure that assignment rules right now here? Let's see practically. Let's take a use case. Let's take a use case here. Configure a lead assignment rule to auto assign the lead records to the queue, to the associated queue. Associated queue based on the location, nothing but based on the city value as below. If the lead records a city value is equals to so and so, I want to assign to the queue. Which queue you want to assign here? If the lead records a city value is equals to some Hyderabad, I want to make it assigned to Hyderabad sales queue. If the lead record city value is some Chennai, it has to be get assigned to Chennai sales queue. If it is some Mumbai, it has to be get assigned to Mumbai sales queue. If it is some Bangalore, it has to be get assigned to Bangalore sales queue. Okay, Bangalore sales queue here. So now here this is my use case requirement. Now whenever I'm going to be creating a new lead record, then automatically I have to assign this lead record to that associated queue based on some certain conditions which we have configured. So now then how can we create this lead assignment rule? Let's see practically over here. So now in order to create that lead assignment rule, we have to go to that options here. Now you have to go to that setup menu and go to that build menu in the left panel. Go to that customize. Go to the leads and expand it. And click on lead assignment tools. Lead assignment tools. And then create a lead assignment tool over here. So now when coming to the assignment rules, the point is we can have one or more lead assignment rules inside an organization, but only one lead assignment rule should be inactive at a time. Not more than that. You may create multiple lead assignment rules inside an organization, but only one rule will be inactive. Not more than that. That is a limitation given by the Salesforce to you. Now let's see here. How can we configure this lead assignment rule? Now we'll see practically. Go to your Salesforce instance. Now go to that build menu in the left panel. Click on customize and expand it. Go to that lead subject. Inside that you will be having an option called as lead assignment rules. If you want to create the case assignment rules, then go to that cases subject. Inside that you will be having case assignment rules are available. We are having only these two assignment rules, but for the remaining objects we don't have anything here. Suppose in requirement, when coming to the organization, if you got the similar kind of requirement that I want that assignment rule for my custom object also, then how? What we can do? We have to implement it through with the help of triggers concept. By using triggers, we can able to implement this functionality. We'll see this implementation practically in our development concept over there. Now I am going to be configuring the lead assignment rules. Go to the leads. Click on lead assignment rules. Now it is giving that information. Automatically assign leads to users or queues based on the criteria you define. Nothing but based on the criteria, we can able to assign that lead record to either a user or queue. Now it is giving one more sentence also. You can create multiple rules with the different conditions, but only one rule can be active at a time. Nothing but only one lead assignment rule will be inactive at a time here. Not more than that. Now by default, Salesforce is going to be creating one rule called as a standard rule. The rule name is standard, which is inactive as of now here. The active checkbox has been selected. Now, whenever I'm creating a new rule, click on new button to create a new rule. Specify the rule name here. Now I'm giving the rule name as I'm giving the name as some custom lead assignment rule. I'm giving the rule name as custom lead assignment rule, or I'm giving that name as some Dell lead assignment rule. I would like to make this rule as active here. Select that active checkbox, and once you have selected the active checkbox, then click on save. Now your rule is inactive here right now. Once your rule is inactive, then the previous rule will be getting deactivated automatically by default. Now, once your new rule is in active status, then the previous rules will be getting deactivated automatically by default. Now click on your rule name which you have created. Now add that rule entries. In that rule entries, we have to specify if that lead record city value is equals to some Hyderabad to which queue you want to assign. So you have to specify the rule entries. Click on new button to add the rule entries one by one. Click on new button. Specify the rule sort order. Nothing but in which order you want to execute this condition. So here is the first condition that I'm going to be executing right now here. So what is the condition that you want to verify? I want to verify that if the lead records status value, lead records status value is not equals to closed, nothing but closed converted. If it is not equals to closed converted, and if the lead records a city value, you will be having that city field. If the lead records city value is equals to some Hyderabad, if the lead records a city value is equals to some Hyderabad, then I want to assign that lead record to whom? Nothing but this is the condition that I want to verify. So now what will be the assignment? To whom you want to make it assign here? Select the user or queue to assign the lead to. Nothing but to whom you want to make it assign here. I want to assign this record to the queue. What is that queue? I have created a sales queue here. That is what? Hyderabad sales queue. Nothing but select that Hyderabad sales queue. Now, do you want to notify the person? If you want to notify the person, then to which email template that you want to use over here? So now here I'm going to be selecting that any of the template, whatever we have. So now, new customer email. I'm going to be selecting that new customer email over here. Click on save. Now one rule entry we have added. Like that you can able to keep on add multiple rule entries. I'm adding one more rule entry. Now the second rule I'm adding right now. Select that if the lead records a city value is equals to some Bangalore, if it is equals to some Bangalore, then assign that lead record to the queue called as Bangalore sales queue. I'm selecting Bangalore sales queue. Make it save. And the one more entry. Click on new. This is the third entry. If the lead records a city value is equals to Chennai, it has to be get assigned to the Chennai sales queue. Select that queue to whom you want to make it assigned, Chennai sales queue. Click on save. One more rule entry I would like to add right now. Click on new button. The fourth one, select that city equals to, if it is some Mumbai, then I would like to assign this record to the Mumbai sales queue. Click on save. So now we have configured our lead assignment rule. If the lead records city value is equals to Hyderabad, it has to be get assigned to the Hyderabad sales queue. If the lead records city value is equals to Bangalore, it has to be get assigned to the Bangalore sales queue. If the lead records city value is equals to the Chennai, it has to be get assigned to the Chennai sales queue. If it has been the lead city value is equals to Mumbai, it has to be get assigned to the Mumbai sales queue. So these are the various queues that which we have configured, and we have specified the assignment rule as well. Now let's go to your lead record. Observe what will happen here. Click on leads. Now open any of the lead record and try to clone it here. I'm making a clone process. I'm going to be creating a product lead record type. I'm giving the lead record details like as some lead assignment test. The company is some Metropolitan Health Services, and the title is some Vice President for the Technology, and the lead source is some web, industry is some insurance, annual revenue I'm going to be assigning as some 50 lakhs, PAN number and the passport number that I have entered, fax number also I'm entering right now over here, lead status open not contacted, rating is hot, number of employees I have entered some value, and now I'm entering that address information here. Enter the street. So this is some Lakeview Street, city is some Hyderabad. I have entered the city value equals to Hyderabad. State is some Telangana, zip code is some 500032, and the country is some India. Now he is interested in one of our product called as projectors here. Now I have entered all the details here. Now in this particular address information, I have entered that city value equals to Hyderabad. If the city value is equals to Hyderabad, then it has to assign this lead record to that Hyderabad sales queue automatically here. So now in order to assign that here, now or else what happened, the currently logged in user will be treated as the owner for that record, but I don't want to make it as a currently logged in user as the owner. I want to make it assigned to that associated queue automatically by default. So now for that here, go to that last section inside your lead record, that is called as optional section. Inside this optional section, you will be having a checkbox called as assign using active assignment rules. Whenever you are creating the lead record, if you are selecting this checkbox, then only this record will be getting assigned to the queue based on the assignment rule which you have configured. If you are not selecting this checkbox, then assignment rule will not be get activated, so that your record will not be getting assigned to that queue. So that here, in order to assign that lead record to that associated queue, then we have to select the checkbox assign using active assignment rules. Now, select the checkbox. Now the city value is Hyderabad, so that it has to be get assigned to that Hyderabad sales queue. Now let's click on save button here. Once you click on save button, automatically assignment rule has been get activated. Now it is going to be assigning that lead record to that associated queue called as Hyderabad sales queue. Nothing but instead of making that currently logged in user as the owner, it is going to be making that the Hyderabad sales queue will be the owner of that lead record here. Suppose for example, I'm editing this record right now. I'm editing this record by click on this edit button. I'm changing the city value as some Mumbai. I'm changing the city value as Mumbai. Now I'm updating this record by selecting that assign active assignment rule. Select that last checkbox, click on save. Now the city value is Mumbai, so that it is going to be assigning to that Mumbai sales queue automatically here. Okay, it is assigning to that Mumbai sales queue automatically. Now who is the member of this Mumbai sales queue? There is a member is available. Nothing but the development user is a member for this sales queue here. Now go to that member, log in as that member. Development user will be the member. Log in as that member. Go to that lead object. Go to that queue inside that pick list. Mumbai sales queue. Now it is going to be giving that lead record which is available inside the queue to you. So now select that record and make it accept here. Okay, make it accept. So now automatically, as of now, this record is on the queue. When you click on accept, nothing but what happened, the ownership will be getting transferred from the queue to that associated selected member. So now only one record is available inside the case that has been accepted by the member, so that there is no waiting lead records inside that queue here. When you go to that members inside that lead object, it will be having that assignment, lead assignment rule test record will be there. Now the owner will be the currently logged in user will be the owner here. Nothing but that accepted member will be the owner here. User development will be the owner. So now this is the way we can able to assign the lead record or the case record to either a user or a queue. Okay. So now in tomorrow's session, we are going to be discussing about few more features